What's up guys, Shouri here, and this one's a little bit different. I don't normally have to have a disclaimer saying don't freak out. But remember, this is a public test server and this is in beta, so a lot of these things aren't actually going to come true. I will have the video segmented if you care about different stuff, but I am going to show gameplay, all the mechanics of everything, and explain everything. So go to whatever you want, but the whole video is basically just going to be all the things you need to know. Alright, here we go. So, the first thing is increase firing distance for sniper rifles by 10%, for assault rifles and machine guns by 25%, and Wasp and Survivor are the only exceptions. Their maximum fire range did not change. If you're wondering what this means, the Arbitrator will now have a range of 29. And then when you go to Zeus, you'll have a firing range of 35. But then if you go to a sniper, you're going to have a firing range now of about 48 with a Barracuda, which is still going to be much longer. But what's most interesting is the damage fall off based on the target's distance. The further you are, the less ouch you cause your enemies. So for assault rifles, it's going to start doing less damage at 75% of the maximum range, which means if you have a 40-meter range, which you don't, but if you have a 40-meter range, that means at 30 meters, you will actually have 100% damage, but anything from 31 to 40 meters, you would start to do less damage. And I'm not sure how the drop-off works exactly, but we'll figure it out in the coming weeks. Next up is sniper rifles, and they have the same 75% of maximum damage range. That's going to be really big, and I have no idea how this is going to work, because if you do a sniper with someone up close, you also do less damage, so I'm really interested to see how that's going to work. And all of these are going to make Gods of Boom a lot more technical and challenging, and I think it's going to be good for the game overall. Next up is shotguns and SMGs, specifically the Wasp and Survivor. They start doing less damage, 25 to 33% of the maximum range. Shotguns already do something similar to this, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. And as you'll see in my recordings in a little bit, it's kind of weird. Shotguns don't really work at all in this. And your machine guns are going to start doing less damage at 66% of the maximum range, which I think is good because they're pretty overpowered from what I've seen and what you'll see later in a video. And next up are the shotgun changes. As you know, each shotgun shell contains many heavy pellets, which fly all over the place when you pull the trigger. We've increased the number of pellets in each shell and also increased scattering. The damage from each pellet has decreased. So, from the two games I played, shotguns are impossibly hard to use right now. This is the only change that I kind of disagree with, wholeheartedly, because the shotguns were pretty unmanageable. But maybe it's just because I played two games. Over time, it might get better. Okay, so they also didn't have, Orion on the list. I think they only changed a few different guns, so I think Orion, still scopes and would be fine, and I don't know how any of that works. But next up is alternate fire. For machine guns and shotguns, now have alternative fire modes. To activate them, press the aim button. Basically, you can now scope with a machine gun, which is super huge and awesome. So glad they did that. It makes machine guns not a waste of time. And shotguns, I don't like the way they did that, because now I can't use a shotgun. And if I can't use it, something tells me everyone's going to have a problem with this. But with an injured wrist and only playing two games, that might have something to do with it. But in the footage that I have, I'll show you, and you can kind of see what I mean. The increased pellet spread, I don't know how this works, to be honest, but I think it's going to be really hard for most players to be able to use, and I don't think it's a good idea for the shotguns. For everything else, I do like it, but I really hope they change shotguns back. So next up is easy to carry machine guns. Now you can run with the machine guns, not as fast as you would with an AR or shotgun, but still fast. Thanks to that, machine guns feel less clunky and more versatile in battles, like a beast of assault rifle, and I do agree with them a lot on that. As you'll see later, it's nice, and Zeus is good. You might want to get that armor. So next up is the accuracy of non-scoped shots from a sniper rifle is greatly decreased. Sniper rifles are designed to be used with a scope, not as deadly hip-fire railguns, and I know what they mean, and I can kind of get on board with that as long as Scout is not affected. I think Scout needs to be able to no-scope people, and it's just better if it's that way. But for all the other snipers, I can get on board with that. So we've reworked a total of 16 guns so far, test them out on the PTS, and get ready for more additions in the future. That one is very true, and I like it. So, equipment limitations. We've removed any equipment restrictions to loadouts, so now you can use all your favorite items regardless of specialization. I like that a lot. Pretty nice. And then the new perks. Perks are used to be specialized specific, but now that is a thing of the past. Now you have access to a total of 14 universal perks, which you can use with any spec. This is not the final version of our perk overhaul. We'll be adding new ones in the future. So guys, these perks they're so insane. Oh my god. Finally, every perk actually can be used, and there's no really dead weight perks, and there's no standardization here. You can use anything. I'm going to go over them in just a second, but I just want to give you my opinion on this. I think this is a great choice because these perks, you can mix and match them and you'll be correct. Before, you needed to use these 3 perks for pretty much every spec, and then you could choose a 4th one. With these perks, you could literally just choose whichever one you want, and it's going to work out. Obviously you want to make the good choices, but you don't have to only use 4 different things. And also, this is going to make sniper rifles so much less powerful, and it's going to make it, I think, impossible to one-shot with Kuda. Maybe with high ground, depending on how good it is for the sniper. You could, but I'm pretty sure this gets rid of one-shot Kudas and other super OP things that probably shouldn't be in the game. And that does not mean I will not miss them, because I like my one-shot Kudas. But we're going to start out with Trooper. Reduces the maximum armor, but slightly increases movement speed. Next is Break a Leg. Enemy slows down when hit with a weapon. That is going to be huge because instead of having to hit their legs and stuff, you just get to hit them and it'll slow them down no matter what weapon you have. That could be very useful. Next up is Battle Surgeon. This will increase the effective healing consumables by 25%, which was already some perk on one of the specs, but now you can have it on all of them. And I think that's going to be a pretty good one if you have any health pills. So next up is Trophy Hunter. This one's just insane. Who made this? So, if I'm reading this correctly, if you hit someone with a knife and they have no armor and their health is at 2999 or below, it automatically kills them. And if you think that I'm not going to target JKM's stream with this Slayer knife, you're wrong. I'm probably going to die 30 times, but I'm going to kill him with a Slayer knife a bunch of times too, so it'll make it worth it. But that's honestly just an insane perk, and I'm here for it. So next up is your weapon inflicts damage if you're above the enemy below you, and this is not sniper rifle specific, which is kind of the big thing. It is the last chance and hope for the sniper one-shot, but you'll see later how much the Kuda does without all the super awesome perks. But this one is Sleight of Hand, and eliminating an enemy with a critical hit provides 2 times reloading faster, so I'm assuming a critical hit is just a headshot. Then you have Unbreakable. It increases the base damage, but it removes critical damage. I'm assuming that means body shot damage. And for something like a arbitrator that doesn't do headshot damage anyways, this could be a really big thing to use and kind of get a really leg up on your opponents. Since you want body shots anyways, that could increase that, and I think that could be a cool idea. So, next up is going to be Burnout. Grenades inflict an additional fire damage over time, so if you hit somebody with a grenade, they'll hit some fire damage. I like it. Alright, so defense consumables restore your armor. If a repair kit, it'll restore even more armor. I think this could be big for things like hills, especially Helping Hand, which is eliminating enemy, restores armor to all nearby allies. That could be super big. And then you have Double the Trouble, more offensive consumables per life available during the battle. I don't like that at all. Healing equipment heals more effectively, but lasts less time. If I'm reading this correctly, that means that you will get more heals or the same heals, and it'll take less time to give it to you. If that's true, then I like Morale Boost a lot. And the 2 I forgot, Gunslinger, which hits an enemy with the pistol and inflicts more damage, just like the old Gunslinger. And last but not least is Tank, which is a passive armor boost, which I personally think might be a good idea if you're a rusher, which is what I was going for. But I don't think I had any perks during these games because I forgot to. I just wanted to see what the machine guns and the shotguns looked like scoped and kind of what damage it could do. And it was a lot of damage really fast, and the fact that you can scope it, I have an injured wrist on my right hand, as I've said 1,000 times. So it's hard for me to kind of use those buttons, so I actually have everything playing one-handed. And so playing this game one-handed is pretty hard, but luckily you can put all of your buttons on this one side and kind of just make it work. But as you can see, the machine gun's actually really strong and does a lot of damage. These guys are bots, so you do have to take that in consideration. I think there's 2 bots and 2 humans on their team. But the, like, literal 0 damage that this thing does is so absurd. It's so upsetting. And that's scoped and non-scoped. And as I put things in slow-mo to look at it and realize why I'm getting 300 damage, it's because I'm missing all but one of the pellets every time. Oh my god, that was bad. So maybe I'm just terrible at shotguns, and it's not that shotguns are terrible. But a lot of people have trouble with shotguns already, and rushing's already super hard. I don't see why you need to make it any harder. I love the machine gun aspect, where you make it where you can use the machine gun, and you make that chest armor actually useful for something. But, like, honestly, like, the shotguns cannot be like this, because shotguns gotta be shotguns, man. I'll show you bear trap and stuff in the next game, but for now, it's just really not great. Like, we gotta figure something out. We need to make sure the devs know that the shotguns need to change, because even if things are like Orion, where you just need to be more accurate and, like, that kind of stuff, a lot of people have so much trouble with Orion and they can't use it. I don't want this to be that, and I'm afraid that it's going to be. And right here, doing all of 300 damage, because again, I'm hitting with 1 pellet at a time, and in a game that shoots for you, I don't know that this works. I think that you might actually do better with manual fire, and I guess they're just trying to be COD. And one thing, I wanted to test out the range of the assault rifle and see how much damage it does from the max range, and it seems to be doing the same amount it did before. I don't know if the 75% damage thing is actually happening or what, because like an extra 25% on my 600 something headshots would be pretty insane. So I'm not really sure how any of that works, but if anyone can explain it in the comments, I would love to know. So basically, I just wanted to show like all the highlights from these 2 games and like how you can use everything. Right here, we're just trying to get these people to get stuck by lightning. It ends up working pretty well, and then we're going to try a snipe up close. It works, but the last guy does end up getting us with his wasp. And I wanted to try to snipe from far away to see what the Barracuda's thing was, and it goes down to 4,600, which is under the one-shot range if we were using Daredevil, so that's good to know. And right here, this is Bear Trap, and oh my god, it's just so hard to use. Honestly, I don't understand what to do with it, because it's really good at 1 second, and it's really bad the next. JoJo hitting at everyone over and over again, I really appreciated that. That was nice of you, buddy. I'm just kidding, I love you, JoJo. But I do die to the wasp, and here I'm just trying to test out the no-scope on the sniper, and oh my god, the sniper does not no-scope. I hit 1 out of 3 of the shots, I just missed another one there. So running around with your scout out with a backup shotgun is not going to end up working. If they mess with scout, if they mess with icebreaker, which they already have, it's not going to work. So I just hope that they don't mess it with scout, because scout needs to be able to hit people. And JoJo, still messing up the video. I do appreciate you doing that, everyone, over and over, JoJo. I still love you, buddy, but god dang. Can you just not do that during my videos? I appreciate it. It's all good, though. But right here, we're showing the bear trap, and oh my god, Fendi's doing it now. What is it with the Gene server? Hey, stop it. And then we do end up killing a guy, but our shotgun really needs to be reloaded, and thank god I finally figured that out. But a little too late. We do end up shooting him with that last shot because we threw the grenade, and that's pretty much it. When I can play more, I will. If my wrist is feeling better, I will stream, and we can do the PTS or the event with fans. I don't really care, whatever you guys want. I'm headed down to do it. My doctor said it could take up to a week for my wrist to get better, but I am healing, and as soon as I heal enough to be able to play, I will get on and stream, and we'll have a good time together. It's going to be fun. I hope to see you guys there, and I'll let you know. Alright, bye guys.